Hey everyone, I'm Captain V, and this is emergency towing in West Africa. Okay, this was about 10, 12 years ago, something like that. And I had just started up a taxi company in Senegal in West Africa. And I had now, it would be my third time going to the country. And at this point, I wanted to, we took the taxi here and we were touring around the country to see the country with it. And partway along the way, we got down to southern Senegal here, and we broke down. We broke down many times, and so it was myself and a couple of friends, one being the driver, one being a mechanic, um, and we broke down yet again, and in an area that just said, I mean, there were French signs there, but it said it means the same thing. It just said danger. That's it. There was no reason why, but it just said danger. Now, there were landmines in the area and there was conflict sometimes. Um, and so it could be one of those things, probably. There were also like troops of baboons and a bunch of other stuff around, but it could be one of many dangerous things. So we broke down and it was just we knew it was a dangerous place to break down. And we were like, huh, like we got to get out of here. But there were like no cars around. It was kind of a dangerous area, so there were very few vehicles passing by. So a car came by and it wasn't big enough to tow us. Another one came by and same thing. And finally, this van came by after about 3 hours, like a long time. And it came by and there it was. It was said like, "Oh, you guys are in a bad spot." And we said, "Yeah, can you tow us?" They said, "Yeah, I guess so." So there's no tow trucks or things like that, like we're used to back in Canada, for example, or calling insurance companies. No, it was just someone helps you out. And how do you tow? Well, without a tow truck, we simply took a rope and tied it from their bumper or their tow end there to our front of our car, and they would pull us. So what we would have to do, and what my friend driving would have to do, is um, put the vehicle in neutral, and we would roll like a go-kart behind them. And every time that they slowed down, we would have to slow down. And if they went too fast, we would have to hope that the rope wouldn't snap with that shock tension. And we had about 5 hours to go, a long way to go of this. Very taxing on my friend driving. So we start going, and the road's mostly like this, mostly pretty flat. They have to weave around potholes and things like that, and we would just not be able to avoid them and hit them and such. Um, but the tires stayed inflated, which is great. However, yes, sometimes there would be police checkpoints or army checkpoints, and therefore we would slow down, and every time they slowed down, we would have to try to get onto the brakes and make sure that we slowed down fast enough not to hit them. But we didn't always. So we smashed out our headlights. Then, as they started to speed up, we would hope that they wouldn't go too fast and snap the rope, but they didn't always. And the rope would snap. So we would have to wait, hope that they would see us again in the distance behind them, and they would. They would slow down. We would push the vehicle closer to them, and then, or they'd back up to us. And then what do we have to do? We have to tie the rope again. So we tie some sort of knot, like a reef knot or something like that. And that would work. It would tie the rope together. But as you could see just right there, it takes up extra bit of rope, right? With that, well, like there, it used to be that long. So every time the rope snaps and we need to tie new knots, meant the rope was getting shorter and shorter, and we were getting closer and closer to their vehicle. So by the end, by the time we got to a place called Tambakunda, we had snapped the rope and smashed into them about 5 times each. And we had, their van was pretty much fine, but we had we ended up being about 2 meters away from them at the end. very close. Like if you were on our hood, you could touch their van. And so close that there was just really no room there for any kind of mistakes, and no reaction time plus. So smashed up the front bumpers, smashed up the headlights, dented the hood, chipped off some paint, and yes, that for after about 5 hours, we finally made it there. Then they just cut the rope off. We said thank you, and then that was it. Just the way life was there. So, if you find yourself in the same situation, maybe make sure you have a long enough rope that you don't need to risk smashing up your vehicle so much. All right. Hope you've enjoyed this one. We'll see you next time.